Welcome to my channel, and today we got story time coming up, so I hope you'll stay tuned through the whole video, and thank you for stopping by. So today we're doing some stuffed bell peppers. I already done one. I've cut it open, took the seeds out and the core out and washed it. So I'm going to show you how to do one, and just cut into it like that. That top comes off. You take that part out and it just comes right out. And see that the stuff right here, the stems, we're just gonna take that out too. And then we're gonna come over here and wash it. You always want to make sure you wash your produce. You never know who's been handling it. So here, do another one. Take that out. This one looks like she was pregnant. Little baby one. We'll save him. And gut it. Alright guys, I'm going to do the rest off the camera. And we'll be back in a minute. The water's already boiling. This next video I had a little bit of trouble. It went in slow mode for some reason. So I'm just putting the bell pepper in there, and we want to cook it for 5 to 6 minutes. You want it to get like a little soft. You don't want it to be hard like it is in this clip, because it will not taste very good. So just cook it for, like I said, 5 or 6 minutes. So here I am having trouble with the clip again, so I'm going to give you story time. My son Matthew was featured in the YouTube Shorts video last week, and if you haven't seen that video, check it out. It's cute. He was 10 then. And also, this next story, him and his best friend were like 15 or 16 years old, and they spent the night at his friend's house. And his mom had been working, and she called me. She said, "Do you know where I'm going?" I said, "No, I don't have a clue." She said, I'm headed to Weeksville to get our kids, because you won't believe this, but they floated across the river in a raft and going to some man's yard to pick them up." And the guy was like, when he first saw them, he was like, "What are y'all doing in my yard?" You know. And Matthew came up to him and said, "Sir, we floated across the river in the raft, and we're from Camden. Can I please call my mom to come get us?" And the guy was really nice. And back then, and still to this day, I go to Fountain of Life Church, but the guy was at Fountain of Life, from Fountain of Life Church, and I don't know who he was to this day, but they were very nice to the kids and got them situated. So she come and got them, and we listened to their story, and Matthew was like, "Well, what happened was," and so you know. And he was like, "Well, we fell asleep on the raft, Mom, and when I woke up, it was so deep, I knew we couldn't get off the raft and swim back." And he said there was a helicopter, a Coast Guard helicopter, hovering over us at one point to make sure that we were okay. So he said we just decided to float across the river and keep going because it was better. But you know, my kids could have ended up in that sound, because if the wind had switched directions, but thankfully we got them back safe. So yeah, he was always the adventurous one. If you watched me before, you know what's getting ready to happen. It is Montreal steak seasoning, and I'm getting ready to put it all on top of the meat and the veggies. And now we are just going to try to chop it up a little bit better. And this is ground beef. And
that's it. And I'm gonna put a lid on it in just a second. I'm gonna cook this until it's no longer pink, and you want to get it nice and browned up. And then when it's brown, we're gonna drain the grease off of it. So I'm gonna put the lid on it and let it do its thing, and then I'm gonna come back and stir it up. The bell peppers are completely cooked how I want them. You want them to be like soft, you know, like that. You don't want them to be real hard and crisp because it won't taste very good. And I also have the rice cooking. If you want to know how I do my rice, I have a video already made that I did last week on Salisbury steak. It's pretty much how I do my rice, except for today I am doing it in the Ninja, so I can kind of move things on just a little bit. Other than that, we're waiting for the meat mixture and the rice to be done. I'm going to do some corn on the cob, some tomato and onion, and probably have some beets. So it's going to be a good supper tonight. Y'all hang with me. So I'm putting in 1 can of tomato sauce in here. And also a can of Rotel tomatoes with the diced green chilies going in. Now we're just going to kind of stir it in. Hopefully it'll fit. Alright, we'll be back in a few minutes. I added another can of tomato sauce to it, and I'm going to use the Italian herb seasoning, and I'm going to do just a little bit of that. And it's not really going to cook because basically it's already cooked. So I'm just going to do it to get the seasoning marinated in a little bit. And this is basil, so probably about a tablespoon of that. We're going to do some extra garlic powder in here. That might have been half a tablespoon or a tablespoon. So now we're just going to stir it up. And let it all kind of marry a little bit. And I'm going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. And we're going to let these cook for about 25 to 30 minutes. So that's it for now, and I'm going to taste it and see how it tastes in a little bit. And it's on the lowest setting, so we're going to crank it down lower because we don't want it to burn, and we'll be back. So I have 5 ears of corn in here, and some of them are like this, and we're going to pressure cook them with the shucks on and the silks on. So let's get started. Pressure cook. We've got it set for 4 minutes, and it's going to be a quick release. We're going to come over here and hit the start button. Make sure up here it's on venting and not sealing. Sealing and not venting. Make sure this part is on sealing and not venting over here. Now we're getting ready to start putting the stuffing in the peppers. And as you can tell, I did cut one because it was kind of the funny shaped one. So we're going to do that. I probably should have just cut that one up, but oh well. And the oven is already preheated to 350 degrees. Okay, I have 2 different kinds of cheese. I have some mozzarella here, or pizza cheese. I'm going to switch up with the other cheese a little bit. Colby Jack. I've let it sit and try to cool off, so it should come out together with the silk and everything. You shouldn't have to pick at it. We're gonna find out together. I mean, you may have to get some off, but it's not like boiling it in the pot. So it did pretty decent. I mean, there's a little bit, but not like if you had to boil it. Okay, I'm gonna finish getting that off the cob in just a second. It's kind of hot. All right, I'll be right back. Here's my plate. So that's the stuffed bell pepper. That's cucumber and tomato with the Olive Garden Italian seasoning on it. And that is the corn on the cob. And we're getting ready to try everything. And I'll let you know how it is. I do know that stuffing and the bell pepper is good. So I'm counting on it to be delicious. So we'll see you in a few.
This meal was certainly delicious. I don't think you'll be disappointed, and it's super easy to put together. So if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, ring that bell, subscribe to the channel please, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next video, and thank you for watching.